Get a personal video message for yourself or as a gift for someone else. For personal connections, shoutouts, birthdays, proposals, weddings, and much more. Enter your details about yourself so the celebrity can record a personal video message especially for you, including details such as your name, age, birthday, hobbies, or whatever else you include. As soon as the video has been recorded, you'll get an email with your link so you can share it on social media or download and keep it. Celebrities record videos as and when they can, usually within 2 weeks. But if you want a video for a specific date and it does not look like it will arrive in time, you can cancel it and get an instant refund at the click of a button. There are hundreds of celebrities to choose from and many more joining every day. Search by category or genre, buy a gift voucher, get updates and offers, and encourage your favorite celebrities to join so they can connect with fans in a fun and unique way. Raise money for their charities and much more. So order your video now for yourself or for someone else.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 420. I'm here with the talented and beautiful Michelle DiBernardo. I just want to say thank you for accepting my request and being a guest on my talk show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Don't mind me, I just have to move this little screen. There you go. Okay, much better. Skype has your box covering my box. So basically, I like to make sure I'm centered. So it doesn't really matter after we're done. We cut in half, so...
Right.
But still...
okay, so you split the screen.
Right.
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to ask you some easy questions, some hard-hitting ones. But
okay.
Do my little catchphrase in the beginning. I didn't mean to interrupt, I apologize.
That's okay.
First, starting off, people want to know what my talk show's about. Whole point of my talk show... Try and catch my voice. Just in an interview before you. Okay, I had to draw a blank. Take two. The whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. But you should never give up. You should prove people wrong. Show them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be, and to prove to them, hashtagging break the labels. Half hour, 37 minutes of your time, uncensored, freedom of speech, freedom of self-expression. You can curse if you want to. You call me an asshole for messing up your last name. But it's pretty much whatever you want to do. You're having fun with it.
Okay,
What's that
sounds good.
Oh, go ahead.
Sounds good. So you want me to introduce myself now? Is that what's going on? Or just
we can get to that. So basically, I'm going to ask you a couple of easy questions about your acting career, modeling, being a publicist, director, and then we take a break, and then we come back with the time remaining. I will pass the show to you. You can ask me anything you want. You support a good cause, make a new friend out of it. And with that being said, what can you tell us about yourself?
All right. Well, I am an actress. I love being in front of the camera, obviously. However, I'm very well-rounded, so I like to do other things as well. If you produce your own content, obviously you can act in your own films or PSAs or talk shows or whatever it may be. So I do some co-producing on like a local talk show that myself and my business partner, Tammy Shawnee, actually Tammy Reese, but if you're looking for her on Facebook, it's Tammy and Shawnee. We co-produce this show, Visionary Minds, which I also direct as well. I am the DP. I do post-production on it. So I'm getting a lot of different takes in the field there, which obviously makes you more well-rounded and helps you become a better actress, a better everything involved in that. So we have that going on, and that's on Spectrum. That is the public access channel. So we've had 3 episodes so far, and the first one being Inspirational Woman of Syracuse, which was myself, Tammy, and some other ladies that are involved in film or theater or dance, just different women who are inspiring people. It was very versatile and diverse cast. We didn't get a big response or whatever, but we kind of just came together, and we had a time slot that we could use, and we made it happen. We didn't care what experience we had. We were teaching ourselves, and then we went on to the second episode, which was Inspirational Men of Color in Syracuse. And that was, we had some different politicians. We had different artists and rappers and just filmmakers and producers and different people who were doing something inspiring, you know what I mean? Because we just got sick of seeing all the negative. Everybody's always sharing fights and bullying and stuff like that. But anytime someone's doing something positive, they don't care. But so that was our second show. We got a little bigger response, not as much. The media didn't really want to help us because there was politicians, and with politicians it has to be equal for each, candidate, and we only had 2 candidates, so whatever, is what it is. Moved on, and I went to my business partner and thought we should do a show, Survivors. That one we got a little bit better viewing and take, but I think it's because we pulled a Oprah Winfrey in Syracuse. All right, no budget, public access. We had a cancer survivor, 4-time cancer survivor, which was my mother. We had Tammy's mother, who is actually blind, a friend who is HIV, and a friend who had PTSD. So they were all people that were very close to us, and we didn't want too many interviewees, because on the first show we had 8, the second one we had 12 to 14. It was just so much, and people it's hard to get the audience's attention. So we were all right, with this, it's 4 people, it's relatable, someone knows someone with cancer or HIV or PTSD or blind or something, they gotta connect. So we went around to different businesses and we got them to give away different food gift certificates and massages and painting with a twist and zoo passes, and we got all these people to believe in us, and it was really, really, really cool. So on from there, we have post-production episode 4. Episode 4 basically has our film commissioner, the co-founders of Syracuse Film Fest, Will Phelps, who is the co-owner of the Liverpool School of Cinema with Jeremy Garlick here, which is bringing a lot of movies here right now, and basically some other filmmakers. And that we basically are ready to drop. We just have to re-interview one person, so we're just waiting on when we can get that interview. So our 4th show is about to come out. Our 5th show is in post-production, which that was JT Talent Enterprises. We went out to New York City at the Dog Craft and Kitchen, I believe it was. And it was up on Sugar Hill's teaser, or rap party, per se. And we did interviews there. We also did a bunch of individual interviews at Urban Action. We've done Lion King, the #1 world musical. We did Timon and Simba, and we also did Syracuse Stage's Wizard of Oz. So we have little interviews that we kind of just put out there on YouTube. But that's the co-producing, directing, post-production, DP aspect of what I do, which again is tying into the acting. I'm also a certified makeup artist. So I got that to kind of tie in with, obviously, to help myself as an actress or a model. To be able to do my own makeup obviously saves a lot of time. I mean, trust me, I'd like it done. You know what I mean? Trust me, I'd love to get pampered and get my makeup done. But yes, which, and in other words, ties into, I'm a director of education for Barbizon USA. So I run some acting and modeling schools, and it's really fun because I have my New York State teaching license for acting and modeling, so it gives me that, certification and knowledge, of course, as well as my New York State Director of Education license, which again, as you can see, everything that I do, comes together. I'm a portrait photographer for 11 years, so that's where it tied into the DP and going in with our talk show, and I've taken classes at Spectrum for videography, and a lot is self-taught, and that's basically who I am and what I'm doing. I got a lot of big things up and coming. I'm pretty much SAG eligible. However, a lot of people say not to make that jump, because once you do make that jump, you are stuck in that jump, and there's fees and lots of stuff that entails in it. However, it could benefit, so it depends. It's a really hard decision. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I'll let you talk for a second. I've been talking a lot.
Well, would you ever be interested in doing fan-made parodies for fun, or because you're part of SAG, so you can't do it?
No, I'm not SAG yet. I'm SAG eligible, which means I have my waivers, so I can join, but I'm not a must-join yet. So if I do like a SAG show with a role with a speaking part, and they make me a must-join, then I'm going to have to go SAG.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't have to. So it's good because I have like 10 productions right now that I have scheduled, like literally throughout 2018, and I'm just like, all right, I need to bang these out because only like 2 of them are SAG. So, you know what I mean? I got to get going.
Yeah, because I do a lot of fan-made parodies just for fun, just in case you are ever interested in helping me do some.
Okay. Nice.
But also,
that's definitely a possibility. But where are you exactly? You're in Manhattan or?
Near West Point, near Woodbury Commons.
Is that Queens?
No, let's see. Where in the city are you from?
I'm actually in upstate. So I'm like right now I'm in upstate, 4 hours away from you, but I travel into the city a lot. And my Facebook, of course, has New York City because casting directors don't believe that I'm actually going to travel in. And on that one that you call at 11 p.m., I'll be on the road at 2 a.m. So, like some people get confused and like, why do you put that? And, like a lot of actors and models have to use New York City address with agents just because they won't work with you because you don't have that address.
It's true.
It stinks, you know what I mean, for the people that are actually going to do it. But there's been plenty of times I've been on set for just background for Unforgettable Smash, stuff like that. And people are like, oh yeah, I know people that won't come from the Bronx to Manhattan. I'm like, what? That's a train ride. Are you kidding me? I'm driving, I'm not even benefiting. It's costing me money to do this, but it's getting me the experience on set and the benefit of meeting people that I'm not going to meet in Syracuse, New York. You know what I mean? Especially back at that time. Right now, we're picking up. Don't get me wrong. Central New York, upstate, it's picking up. Jeremy Gerlach came here. Daniel Baldwin lives here now. He's got some things that are going on. We got Tom Bauer supposed to be bringing something here. But there's just in between Syracuse, Rochester, and Buffalo, they're really building infrastructures, and the CNY Film Hub was built here, and they had Sushi Tushi here. They just did a movie. Jeremy Gerlach's done 2 movies since he bought his school in September, and here we are December. He did Holly Slept Over with Natalie Emanuel from Game of Thrones, Josh Lawson and Britt Lauer, and then whatchamacallit, the one he just did was Banana Split with Dylan Sprouse, which was some big Nickelodeon kid that all the teenagers are going wild for right now. But they just wrapped that up on the 18th here. So you know what I mean? He's done 2 movies here. There was, I just did a movie with Jeff Goldblum here. Ron Perlman, I did a movie with him here this year. So there's been a lot picking up. We have a really big tax incentive, and they're really trying to pull stuff here because it's cheaper to film here than New York. And it's more pretty. Don't tell anybody.
Hey, if you can hook me up, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
One question I do want to ask you mentioned you have your own talk show.
Yeah.
Would you be interested, just throwing it out there, hypothetically, would you be interested in having me as a guest?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We could definitely. And we're going to be there the 26th through the 28th, where we're going to be interviewing some other people. We're going to be in Jersey City. And then, we're staying at, a Airbnb, and then we set up, my equipment, and people come, and, you're more than welcome to come, and we can interview you and all that fun stuff. definitely one hand washes the other for sure.
Hey, you help me, I help you.
Exactly.
I do have. I don't mean to interrupt.
Oh, go ahead.
Bad habit of mine. It's Skype.
Well, it is delayed sometimes, so you never know.
It's true. Hey, you help me, I help you, and also you're making a new friend out of it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But with that being said, I do have a couple other questions for you.
Okay.
And the next one I was going to ask you is, you mentioned you're a director, and I can't even read right as well. Oh, a publicist. So how did those two happen? And what do you enjoy more?
Okay, so the director, so far what I have done is I have directed the talk show for all 5 episodes and the single interviews that, like I said, we did and put out. And then recently we did a sizzle reel, which I was Angelina. It's called The Most Beautiful Gift. You can find it on YouTube. You can also find it on my website at www.michelledibernardo.com. Go under sizzle reels and you'll see scene 1 and scene 2 for that. I am co-producing and helping direct, as well as I'm the lead for that, Angelina. You'll also hear my voice is a little bit different, okay? So you might see a little versatility with me. I think it's going to be a really big hit. We're trying to pitch that to some networks, so we have one more scene to film for that. I totally got off track because I started babbling on about that. What were we talking about? Because I feel like I got off completely.
I have that effect on people.
Okay, so that's what I have directed so far. Now, publicist. The publicist, I was actually a publicist on Priest the Lost Son. It was a trailer that we shot, which is actually so hilarious because today is December 29th. Last year, December 29th, we were shooting with Robin Gibbons. All right, so for that trailer that I was the publicist as. And we also filmed in February with Jamal Gravy Willard and Clifton Powell. Say it again, all right? So we definitely had a nice little trailer put together. You can go to priestthelostson.com. You will see that I'm actually going to be acting in the full movie. I am playing Christine. So you can definitely check that out on the website. But that I had... again, my business partner, Tammy Risha, wasn't my business partner at the time, but her and some other people were working on this project. And I think I had went to audition, and somehow I got worked into it. Somehow I ended up the publicist and the behind-the-scenes photographer. Now I'm the production coordinator for Kilo Thompson for Comfort Zone Entertainment, as well as my business partner, Tammy Reese, is the production assistant. We will be going down to ATL to film that. Hopefully soon because it's freezing and I want to get out of this cold weather. But that is the only thing so far that I've worked as a publicist on. Would I like to do it again? Absolutely. I think it's really easy in my town because we have 4 news stations. Okay? And, 3 newspapers and 4 or 5 magazines. So it's really something that's easily done. I think that it didn't get as much press as I would have liked. But I do kind of feel like maybe it's something that you probably don't talk about, but it wasn't a predominantly white movie. And it's funny because if you were to call the press or something for something else, for instance, I called the press, I'm not going to tell you what event, but I had called the press for another event that day, and 2 news people showed up, but it was a predominantly white event.
Yeah.
I called every single news station, everything, and I got WCNY and then another one, and it was very Syracuse.com, and newspapers didn't want to, how the press is. Let's just say that. They don't always make everything accurate of what's going on. So, yeah. So that was definitely fun, though. Let me tell you, it was definitely fun. And especially, I didn't want to feel with being behind-the-scenes photographer, I never wanted to feel like paparazzi. And so I feel like I didn't get as many photos as I should have. You know what I mean? But then on the last day, Jamal was like, Come on, get this picture. You know what I mean? So, if the cast member's calling me on, the directors can't get mad at me. I can't be in the way because, you can't shoot when they're filming because it makes the noise, the shutter.
That's true.
That stinks. You don't get those really good shots.
No, we can always edit the sound out too.
Right.
But my next question I was going to ask you is, would you be interested in working with people? And actually, before I ask you that, let me ask you the question before that, so we can just reverse it. You mentioned you're an actor, model, publicist, director, and photographer. There was all that, and it was tiny, itty, little box. Have you ever, it's just trying to make you laugh. It's a tiny, itty, bitty box. Have you ever said, let's just rip it open, throw shit against the wall, see what sticks. Out of everything you did, what is your greatest accomplishment? And on top of that, have you ever worked with people with special needs?
Like my greatest accomplishment of all time in the entertainment business?
Yes.
That's hard. That's really, really, really hard. I don't know, maybe, and this wouldn't even make sense to some people because really, I love being the principal or the supporting person, the person with all the lines, the person who's with all the attention. But when I was an extra on All My Children, probably in like 2007, Susan Lucci was like oh my gosh, I wanted to be her. She was really the only television show, All My Children, that I watched my whole life. I always watched Lifetime movies with her growing up. It was always Susan Lucci. I'm an actress now, and I really don't watch television. I don't have time. I'm always traveling. I'm on the go, multiple jobs, have kids, that kind of thing. So I really don't watch television. But as a child growing up for 30 years, I watched that every day from 1 to 2. And into my adulthood, I watched it until it went off the air. Okay, so even though it was only an extra, she had brought me on stage at this event. We were New Beginnings audience members, okay? And it was during when Zoe was I think it was Zoe, was transgender, and it was a lot of big controversy. They had the first lesbian kiss with Bianca, and all this stuff was going on, okay? And so it was the audience was Zoe, and so they were oh, who can scream the loudest in the audience, in between takes and stuff. So I got a big mouth, all right? And I was, going in, okay? And so it's her and Walt Willie, and then they bring me down and they ask the question, how many husbands did she have, okay? Well, she had 10, and I knew that, but I didn't know all of them, and I was naming them off, and literally, I completely forgot Walt Willie, and he was standing behind me, and I remember stepping on his foot, and it was just it was a moment that I would never forget, because I've worked with a lot of good people on set, but I don't know. She was my mentor, so, even though it was only an extra, okay? And that was one of the steps that brought me to more. Because if you think about it, I remember at first, years ago, I was I just want to act with one celebrity, one time, you know what I mean? Or I just want to be in something that is stars. I don't even have to act in it. I'd be happy if I passed away now. That's how I was with that show. And then after that, it went on to other things. And, I've had to take care of kids, so it wasn't always focused on acting. I've had here and there. Now it's more predominantly into the field and acting. I've been building up to have all these traits to connect to make the circle of life.
It's true. So, what about...
Oh, and have I worked with anybody with special needs? Well, of course I have, because I work with Barbizon USA since 2010. I'm a director of education. We definitely, there's no standards on anything. We've had students with Down syndrome, and we've had students, I'm sure, with ADHD and dyslexia and just whatever, because we don't label them or anything like that. They come into the classroom, they learn, at their speed. Everybody learns at their own speed. It depends. And some of them might, even though you have a learning disability, you might be better at something. If you notice certain autistic kids are really, really like genius in math and stuff like that, and some stuff, and you'd be like, oh my gosh, like, whew, I can't figure that out. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't have a learning disability, but this kid does. So, like we definitely have worked with some. We haven't had a success story yet. However, I did see on Facebook that there was like a girl with Down syndrome. I was like, oh, that's super cute. You know what I mean? Because really, it doesn't matter, who you are. Like, and I'm glad from the 80s to now, television and the entertainment has changed. If you looked at television when we were like, well, when I was growing up, I'm probably a little bit older than you, but when I was growing up in the 80s, it was all high fashion models. Skinny, 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 skinny. That's all you ever saw. You know what I mean? It was these real, just they turned and they were a wall. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, like something's wrong with me. You know what I mean? Because I'm not that skinny. Like you always thought that. Then you got older, and now like it's real people and commercial, and like it's not. There's lifestyle models. It's not just high fashion anymore. So it's like real people. So I mean, hello, there's really people with Down syndrome in the world. There's really people that are autistic in the world. There's really people with PTSD in the world. There's so many different things that, hello. Anybody can do anything they want to put their mind to. You just got to believe in it. So
that's true. Now we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, I'm going to pass the show over to you, and you can ask me anything you like.
All right. Sounds good.
My name is Keith Andrew. I'm here with the beautiful and talented Michelle. And I just want to say thank you for sticking with us. This is episode 420. And now, with the last 11 minutes left of the show, I'm going to pass it over to you. You can ask me anything you want, promote anything you want.
All right, sounds good. Well, for number one, make sure that you check me out. You want to check me out at MichelleDiBernardo.com. That's www.MichelleDiBernardo.com. All right, that links you to my IMDb, Facebook, Instagram, phone number, email, anything you want is right there. And you can also check out Visionary Minds on Facebook. All right, and if you have any questions or anything in regards to our talk show, it's visionarymindstv@gmail.com. All right, but now let's talk about you. So you've had this show, and we're on episode 420, so that's a super lot of episodes. Do you do this weekly or monthly or daily, or how does that go?
I'm trying to find the words for it. Pretty much whenever I find someone to talk to, that's when the episode's on. I thought about doing it like every Monday and every Wednesday, but I have ADD, so I constantly have to be doing something. Like instead of just stacking up interviews, why not just do it when I have it? So that's why I do, like every day pretty much, if I have someone.
Absolutely. And now you said you've been doing this for 4 years? You started 4 years ago?
This June will be 5.
All right. Well, very good. So 5 years, you do it when you want because you're always on the go. How long does it take you to turn around and edit?
Let's see. If I have one episode, that would take me about a half hour. Actually, 15, 20 minutes. Then I have to upload it. So, half hour, 45 minutes. Then I share it on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Stage 32. I share it with everyone.
Oh, okay. So you definitely have a lot of outlets for sure. Have you ever thought of like one of the Bonbon networks or something like that, putting your show up on?
I never heard of it.
Oh, I will definitely have to link you with a friend of mine that uses that for sure. I know we put our interviews for Visionary Minds up on there, but you have a lot more interviews than we do, okay, Mr. 420? You're probably on 421 after we get off the phone.
Funny you should say that. I do have an interview right after you. But unofficially, it's up to you if you want to hear the story. But unofficially, I did over 750 what was it? 700 and no, actually, no, it wasn't even 700. Long story short, when I first, it's up to you if you want to hear the story or not.
Go ahead and tell me already.
Alright, instead of beating around the bush, when I first started, don't ask me why it seemed like a good idea. I was doing phone interviews, and I was still having panic attacks, I was still basically just therapy for myself. I suffer from depression and social anxiety, and I did 72 phone interviews, and it wasn't helping me. I was still having anxiety and panic attacks. I had people from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Dragon Ball Z, and just actors and actresses, and I got people say to me, "You have this great format. Why aren't you as big or bigger when you portray yourself to be? Why don't you have people helping you? Why don't you have this? Why don't you have that?" And I'm like, "Okay, would you like to help me with it?" And it's like, no, if you can't do it yourself, it's not meant to be. And I used to get annoyed when I hung up the phone. I was like, "Yeah, thanks a lot, asshole." And one person said to me, "How about you do it over, but try a different format?" And if you watch season 1 and season 2, I did not want to be seen. How I'm in the big screen, you're in the little box, and you're in the big box, I'm in the little box. I did not want to be seen. And I was thinking, if I really want to take this seriously, I have to, get my head out of my ass. I was like, you have a disability. This show is about me. And if you got to hide, then people are not going to take it seriously because you have to throw yourself out there.
Right.
Season 1, this is pretty much what you saw with the reflection. That's what the camera picked up. So I would record. This would be the camera, and what the camera got on the reflection is what it picked up. Season 2 is here's the camera, and I would record from the computer screen. And then my brother told me, why don't you use Skype Recorder? So like, why don't you do something about your quality? So basically, I found, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's it's EAMM. It's third-party software. Yeah, I know how to pronounce it. But it's basically they work with Skype, and now it's cut in half. So I'm on the right, you're on the left. If you ever want to interview me, we can flip it. You're on the right, and I'm on the left. And I'm starting to do group interviews because people are saying to me, used to do speaking engagements. So my new thing after doing one-on-one interviews for 2 years, so I want to do something different. Right. I want to do group interviews. I want to do double interviews. And instead of throwing myself to the wolves, like for an example, I want to do Comic-Con, and I really don't want a table. I want to do a Q&A. And I never stood in front of a group of people before. So I was like, why not have 2, 3, 4 people on here? So when I do have an opportunity to talk to a group of people, I already gave myself the experience. Also, people who watch my show get to see the different varieties, how you went from one-on-one to now you're interviewing 2, 3, and 4 people. Yeah. And I almost forgot what I was going to say. So I got up to 72 phone interviews. Then I did it over. I got up to 300. So in total, it still pisses me off. I get to that point. I did 372. During that time, people didn't like the video quality. They didn't like the questions I asked them. They said it was degrading. You asked a lot of stupid questions. My publicist, my manager says, we don't like the video quality. We don't want to be seen as people like you. It's degrading. Take it down. I'm going to sue you. So from 300, I took it down. At that time, I was called uncensored. And I was like, screw it. Because the reason I was called uncensored, and I still have uncensored, but I use it for a theme. I was told I liked wrestling. I liked the WWE. So I always liked how WWE Raw is presented by Hershey's, or WCW NWO Starrcade presents Starrcade. Now it's like, I have the KeithAndrewNetWork. Why not have something like that? So I had the Keith Andrew Network presents Uncensored. And a long story about it, I came across an actress. She took the name of my show and the concept, except for the fact she does not have a disability. Excuse me. She does not have a disability. She liked my concept and the name Uncensored. Long story short, I called her an asshole and hypocrite. I apologize to her. And she says, we do not accept apologies from people like you. So basically, I want nothing to do with her. And I was like, well, if I have to do it over, might as well do it right. And I have the Keith Andrew Network name. I'm paying for it. Might as well use the name. So I did another 300 interviews. So that's up to 6, plus the phone, 672. And now I'm up to 4. So I got the 772. Unofficially, I did 772 interviews. My brother and my sister said to me, you're not copyrighted, you're not trademarked, you're not, qualified or whatever. So I looked up on LinkedIn, a lawyer, and I said, this is going to sound stupid, but can I ask you a couple questions? Luckily, he didn't charge me for his time. He was a lawyer, so I was senior advisor. He says, you do not have to be trademarked because you're not making any money. Because that's $2,000. I would recommend you eventually getting copyrighted, but because you're not making any money, all you got to do is put yourself in the debt. You do not have to be, copyrighted. Trademarked, you do not have, actually that's copyright trademarked. You do not have to be copyrighted because you've been doing this for how many years. You have an online presence, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. People know you. He said your biggest mistake was, and this is going back to the first time I did 300, your biggest mistake was you're not having people getting written permission. Because at the time, I would have them say verbally, okay, before we do now give me an example. Hey, Michelle, before we do the interview, do I have your permission to do the interview? And you would say yes. And it'd be like, well, how did you know that's real? How do you know you didn't just edit that from another part of a conversation? So, thanks to you, I have 5 binders filled of 100 pages of everyone who has a permission form. And I say, once you sign it and we do the interview, that's it. It's a done deal. Get over it. You can make whatever idle threats you want. I was up front with you. I told you what the show is about. And he said that was your biggest mistake, but you did not do that from the start. So from 300, it dropped to, 150, 170. And I had to suck up the 200. And thanks to you, we're back up to where we're supposed to be. Not so it's supposed to be 700, but it was 420. And no one helped me with this. Everyone keeps making jokes and making comments about it. Oh, he's going to fail. He's harassing people. He's abusing people. Whatever BS people try to bring you down with. And I did this all by myself. And it was a learning experience. And it's like, okay. So now here's the permission form. I tell you what it's about. We're officially at 420. I would like to be back at 772. Wishful thinking on that, but that's never going to happen. But, 420 is a good number. A lot of people make a joke about that. 420, that's Hitler's birthday, or isn't 420 National Pot Day? I'm like, it's just a number. Why do you have to try to ruin something I'm working on? So go away. Just do your own thing, whatever. But, I'm showing people, hey, I was labeled as handicapped, mentally disturbed, retarded. I read at a 5th grade level. I learn at a 5th grade level. I have poor people skills. I'm socially awkward, but look at what I'm able to accomplish under the 4.5 years. You mentioned 5. Yes, This June will be 5, but right now 4.5 years. But I'm pretty much saying that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. And I'm going to show you I can break those labels. Make a long story short.
Well then. So, we are at a 420, and I'm sure there's going to be many, 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 many more episodes to come. Do you see yourself in the future always doing it out of your house, or do you eventually see yourself having a studio, or what?
Well, that's funny because, I mentioned recording it from the phone, and now I'm in my bedroom. I would like to have my own studio. I would like to make transition saying, okay, where is season 6 going to be? Where is season 7 going to be? I would love to work with the WWE. I tried reaching out to the McMahon family. I'm never not gonna probably take an interest in it, or maybe they make a take an interest in it. But a lot of wrestlers I got on the show says you have a lot of potential. So what I would like to do before I die is win a title belt, get my own studio, and it's funny, it's like, well, you can't wrestle because you're blind without your glasses. Yes, but I can buy sports glasses. We can save that to another time. But, I maybe do like a storyline in WWE. Get a job for a wrestling company, or hell, just get an actual studio, sitting down with people from Hawaii Five-0 to, if he didn't pass away, George Collin. I would love to have Dennis Leary on the show. Just to say, look at what I'm able to accomplish. Yes, I do want to become famous. That's my goal. But, when you die, what you leave behind, it's going to be more important than what you did with your life. Yes, he became famous, but what was the point of it? What was his message? And I want that message to be, for someone who's disabled or handicapped, look at what he was capable of doing.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Makes sense.
Now, I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But
okay.
Wrapping up, how can people follow you on social media, number one? And when I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your first reaction and what made you say yes?
Okay, so how can people follow me? They can go to my website, MichelleDiBernardo.com, MichelleDiBernardo.com. Facebook, Michelle DiBernardo. I do have 2 different accounts because one is full. So you can go to the other account, or I have an actor-director one on there that you can follow. Instagram is DiBernardoMichelle. And basically just go to my website and then you can find me everywhere. MichelleDiBernardo.com, IMDb, Instagram, Facebook, phone number, email, anything.
Are you on Twitter, or you don't use Twitter?
Yeah, but I don't even know my login. I don't go on that enough. Instagram and Facebook. Instagram I just started picking up more in the past 6 months. But lately I've been realizing Instagram's where it's at. So.
What about LinkedIn?
I have an account that I haven't logged in years. I know, I should probably go on there. It's for more professional. But
it has its moments.
There's too many sites. I just want them all together. It's too much for me. You know what I mean? You get a lot of responses. It's busy. But, yeah. So that's how you follow me. And then when you approach me, I was like, okay, who is this? I'm not sure who this is. And then I said, oh, wait, they asked for an interview? Whatever. Promotion. Give it to me. So I'm like, whether it's a small thing or a big thing, regardless, it still helps you. Whether you only know one person that's gonna maybe, follow me or something, it's one more,
No, I appreciate it. I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up our interview segment, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest, and I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road.
Absolutely.